After hours of debugging, I'm happy to say we finally got some solid parkour mechanics working in my indie game. Some features include wall running, bar swings, and a dynamic climbing system to allow additional player freedom, making exploration feel more exhilarating. Unfortunately though, it completely broke whenever the player had any gear equipped. As you can see, when trying to perform any traversal action, the player just bounces off the wall like a pinball, rendering our legend wall trace functions to go haywire. So I thought, well, if it works without any gear equipped, it must be a collision or physics setting on the equipment, right? Nope, still busted. So with those off the table, it was time to dive into the player blueprint trace functions to further dissect this issue. So we already covered trace functions in a previous video, but to quickly recap, developers often use traces that essentially draw an invisible line or sphere to detect the player's position relative to the nearby object hit to figure out what action to perform based on set conditions such as speed, height, and distance. At first, I couldn't find anything wrong with the code. But after several more failed troubleshooting attempts, it turns out the traces couldn't tell the difference between the wall and the equipment. By default, static meshes are typically set to world static or dynamic, which were already being occupied by our walls. So the fix, all we needed to do was simply create a new object channel just for equipment and then tell our wall trace function to ignore that channel completely. We can improve upon this system further by requiring specific gameplay tags only on objects we want the player to be able to run or climb on. And then boom, we fixed it.